Landon, how was practice today? It sounded like there were some pretty good battles up front in the second scrimmage here.
Oh, yeah. Practice was definitely good, and it feels good to get back into that sort of real-life game scenario. And I think that's what we've all been waiting for. You know, we get itchy, and especially with missing the rest of spring practice and, you know, having to come back in and sort of expedite this process is sort of a hurry up and wait. But we definitely did in the trenches. We always have good fights out there, and we go out there with our mentality and attitude, and we want to get stuff done. We want to go back out there and prove to everybody that we're the best offensive line, best defensive line in the nation.
Josh, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you mentioned the hurry up and wait. When you talk about just preparing for this season, you've got a lot more time. You know, you're playing some catch up a little bit, but you've got a lot of continuity too. So there's a lot of things working in your all's favor, but you've still got a month before the first game and a lot of practice to go before that. How do you just kind of keep yourself motivated and keep from getting bored and just, you know, and all the other stuff, the COVID, you know, protocols kind of weighing on you? Just how do you get all that, you know?
We mix it up a lot. I can definitely say that. You know, the first 2 weeks of fall camp, it doesn't look like a normal fall camp usually does. You know, usually this time of year period, we're in, you know, game time mode. And we're not worried about fall camp right now. We're already through that. But right now we're sort of switching it up. The first 2 weeks we've sort of had on and off schedule, be able to sort of rest ourselves, recover ourselves, get a little change of scenery instead of just going, you know, 5 days in a row, just back to back to back to back. But I think it's given a lot of guys a chance to get recovered, a lot of guys to get comfortable, especially a bunch of these new guys, to get a little more film work, to sort of be able to get acclimated to college football rather than just getting thrown in the fire. But I really enjoy it. And like I said, we got 2 weeks of that, and then we'll go a little more consistent for the next 2 weeks before we have game week. And then, of course, game prep is going to be the same thing every single week with a different opponent each time that you're studying.
Yeah.
Hey, Landon, Josh kind of took my question there earlier, so I'm just going to kind of play off of it. On the other side of the ball from you, who's giving you some of those good reps and good competition that, you know, you love to prove that you guys are the best and they're the best?
You know, I go against quite an array of guys during practice. And, of course, you know, J-Dub and Boogie are two guys that I consistently go to every single practice. And those guys are definitely getting better. You can see it in the way they practice. You can see it in their mentality. You can see it in their technique. They're really out there honing their craft. And, you know, everyone always say it's sort of cliche, but iron sharpens iron, and that's the complete truth. You know, I got one of the best, you know, sack returners coming back, and, you know, that's who I want to go against every single practice. In the interior, you got Q and JP, and you got Phil Hoskins. Again, guys that are really, really stout in there that have made a big name for them in the game. And being able to go against those guys every day, it just tests what I can do. And it makes me push farther and deeper every single day to be better and better and be able to win against those guys, because I know if I can win against those guys, I can win against anybody in the nation.
Thank you.
John Clay.
Landon, what about you personally? What are you working on? Where do you want to get better in preparation for this season?
One big thing that I have been working on is my pass game. You know, last year we ran the ball 99% of the time, and we didn't really have a lot of chances to really showcase what we can do in a pass game, especially as an offensive line, be able to protect that pocket. So that's something that I really focused on, you know, throughout the quarantine, coming back into fall camp, is, you know, being able to sit back, being able to get those shoulder backs, make sure that I get a good explosive punch and to stop those guys' momentum. And but that's something I've really, really honed in on. I think I did decent in the run game, and I think that's still coming along, being able to, you know, keep my feet moving on a cutoff on a three. But being able to just sit back, be patient, not lunge and make a fool out of myself on a fast guy coming up the edge, be able to protect that quarterback a little bit better.
Keith, you're muted, bud.
Sorry about that. Speaking of the passing game, how has Terry looked so far in the first couple of weeks?
Terry's looked really good, and I think this time off sort of before this has been really, really beneficial for him, because I think it's given him courage. It's given him a little bit of extra time to recover his body, gave him that extra time to be able to recover off of that surgery. And I see a guy out there that's super confident. I see a guy that's moving really well, that's really studied his playbook and really got back into the game. It's really fun to see him, get out there and cut it loose every now and then. And of course, it's sort of a quick whistle because you don't want him to get smacked, but he's gonna go in there with his shoulder first, and he's gonna make sure somebody knows that he was there. But yeah, I definitely think it gave him a lot of confidence. I think it gave him, a chance to get that knee completely back so that he has no worries that something else is going to happen. And I think that's a key to coming off an injury is being able to do everything you can to recover so that at the end of the day, you're not out there worrying about getting injured. You're just worried about going out there and doing your job.
Big Gabriel.
Landon, you guys as a unit had to really shift gears midway through the season last year to accommodate the change with Lynn at quarterback. How much do you think that's helped you guys become more of a well-rounded unit going into this year? And on a follow-up, how much are you looking forward to a more conventional offense?
I think it's definitely a lot. It's going to be really interesting going back to more of a conventional offense. I'm definitely excited to get more of that pass game in there because I think that it is a good mix-up in a game, and it's going to take teams, shock those teams this year. When we came from a season last year that we went 90% pass. But then again, that sort of adversity last year made us really hone in and realize that no matter the obstacles in the road that we have, that we can get together and we can still win games, and that we can, even if we're one-sided, that we can still run the ball every single play and we can win games. Or if we had to pass the ball every single play, we can go out there and do that. Really with Lynn back there too, it gave us a little bit more discipline in our technique and discipline in our mental clock, because you never knew what Lynn was going to do back there. He could take it and run it and score a 60-yard touchdown himself. He could pass it, he could dump it, or even if we were just doing a run and play period, you never know where it was going to hit with that man in the backfield. So it really gave us a discipline to be able to lock on those guys, keep driving, and because you never know where that ball's going to pop out on that line of scrimmage.
All right, we'll wrap up Landon with Josh.
Landon, I know being from Kentucky is a big deal for you, something you really take a lot of pride in. But as you're kind of on the way out, seeing a lot of these younger guys who come in who are from Kentucky too, and we've heard a lot of their names so far through fall. What is it? How nice is it to see that continuing? I know the program relies on Ohio and other states a lot more than it used to, but to still see Kentucky guys really making an impact.
Absolutely, that's really awesome because Kentucky is never really looked at as a football state. You see a lot of different states that are considered more of a football state than Kentucky. And to see, the product of really good athletes coming out of this state is really, really cool. And because, I know there's spurts, there's years that there's not a lot of athletes that come out of Kentucky, period. And to be able to see not only the good athletes that are coming out of Kentucky, but they're also wanting to choose Kentucky as their school is really cool because it's sort of, following in the footsteps of that 2016 class. We had Drake, me, we had Devontae, we had Cash, and all those guys. We wanted to come here and make a difference. And I think that more Kentucky boys coming here is going to continue to help make that difference because we have pride like no other guy on this team. We're playing for our home state. We're playing for our family. We're playing for our Lord. Everything in Kentucky has provided for us our whole life. So it's our chance to give something back and be able to represent that across our chest.